So yesterday, I listed the worst armor breaks in Mortal Kombat 11, and man, some of them were truly terrible. So today, I'll be listing the best armor breaks, and by the Elder Gods, some of them are ridiculously strong. So please comment your favorite armor breaks down below, and without any further ado, let's start the countdown. So to start off this video, let's talk about Kotal Kahn's Metsukiya Cut. Once again, not sure how to say that, but the point is this armor break is very decent. For starters, it's got good startup and really good range, which means you never need to dash if you want to catch the opponent's breakaway. You can just do this move right away. So for example, a situation like this. I don't think so. I'm just gonna do it. And you get some pretty decent damage too. 26% didn't cost any bar, but if you do want to spin the bar, you get a bit more damage. Oh, look at that, we're getting 30%, but things are about to get even better because you can actually amplify this and then get a crushing blow. And then you're getting some really meaty damage, so look at that, 47%, almost 48%. And keep in mind, Kotal Kahn can launch the opponent without a crushing blow or spending any meter, and he's still getting around 40%. But here's where things get even better. Kotal Kahn has a bunch of different ways to buff his own damage. So for example, a very simple one is his parry. Okay, got a damage buff. Go for this. Oh, we're now getting 43%, not too bad. But now let's imagine you're playing Variation 3 and you have some totems stacked. Now this thing is really going to hurt. And we won't even use the crushing blow. Look at that, 37%, just because your opponent dared to break away. And then of course, if you wanted the crushing blow, well, it's just really gonna hurt then. Oh yeah, we're closing in on 50% territory now. So put simply, this armor break is already scary by itself, but the fact that Kotal Kahn is using it means he has a bunch of different ways to buff his damage and get that much more out of this armor break. And when you combine that with how many different ways Kotal Kahn can launch the opponent, then you have a bunch of different ways to set up this crushing blow. And as you can see, we're finally getting over 50%. So make sure to pick and choose the right time to use that crushing blow because it can be ridiculously powerful. Now unfortunately, this armor break does have some downsides to it. For starters, it's not available in Variation 1, which I would argue is the easiest variation to actually play. And of course, once you use the crushing blow, your damage isn't going to be as high, but trust me, it's still pretty decent as long as you want to spin that bar. Look at this combo as an example. We're still getting 40%. Now it does require some totems though, and that's an issue if you're fighting someone who's really aggressive and just never gives you the chance to stack any of your totems. So even though this armor break is very strong, it relies heavily on your ability as a Kotal Kahn player. You have to make sure you're constantly summoning totems and trying to do parries, anything you can to get your damage buffed. But make no mistake, this is still one of the best armor breaks in the entire game. But now let's talk about Jax's lethal clap. So this thing is just a nightmare, and the only negative thing about it is that it's only available in Variation 3. But outside of that, this thing is just a monster. It is fantastic. So for starters, you can't even escape it. Even if he's not heated up, it still relaunches the opponent to extend combos. And then once you've relaunched the opponent, you can do fun stuff like this. And as you can see, we're already getting around 28%, and the opponent's a bit far away, which may seem like a bad thing, but it's not in this variation because Jax has a sneaky low attack, and he's also at plus 27 once this combo ends, so the opponent's pretty much forced to block it or jump. And then if Jax wants to spin the bar, they actually are forced to jump because it's unblockable. They have to do something on wake up immediately. So while this ender does push the opponent further away, Jax still has a bunch of tools that force them to do something. However, if Jax does want to keep them closer, he can just do stuff like this. And as you can see, the opponent's still right in front of me, and I'm getting heated up, I'm getting closer to that throw, crushing blow, all that deadly stuff. So if you don't mind a bit less damage, you can keep the opponent much closer for more pressure and mix-ups. And then if your timing is perfect and the stars align, you can actually do this string twice in a row before canceling into his shoulder and then amplifying, and you'll get a decent amount more damage, but honestly it's pretty tough to time, and the damage you get without 2 reps is still pretty high, so I don't recommend going for it, but if you're a god, feel free. And we haven't even showed the damage this thing does after a crushing blow, so check this out. Oh my god, as you can see, almost 40%, but check this out. So the more heated up Jax is, the more damage this move actually does. So now it's doing 77 instead of a base 70, and also all of his follow-up punches hurt more as well when he's heated up. So if you land this crushing blow while fully heated up, you'll get even more damage. Oh my god, almost 42%. And by the way, I think it's a bit unfair that Jax gets to keep his damage buff after a crushing blow, because to my knowledge, no other character does. But even so, if you're a Jax main, that's just more good news for you. And then if you have Fatal Blow, things just get crazy. So around 43%, so not too crazy, but keep in mind we weren't even heated up. And now, last but not least, let's see what happens after a crushing blow launcher. Yeah, we're now in 55% territory, and once again, you can likely squeeze in 2 reps of that string instead of just 1, but I don't think you need to. The damage is already crazy high. And then things only get more impressive if you have the opponent cornered, because doing 2 reps becomes really easy. Look at that, 30% for just 1 bar after a low attack mix-up. But here's where things get even crazier. So in this variation, Jax can launch the opponent with this move as well. You just press the button twice instead of once, and as you can see, I launched them without spending any meter. So what this means is you can get fully heated up, and then launch the opponent with the clap, and then beat their breakaway with the clap, and then just keep your combo going like normal, and the damage is insane. Oh my god, look at that, almost 42%, and once again, only 1 bar, and it didn't require any crushing blows. If you had a crushing blow, you would get even more damage. Oh my god, over 45%. That is just crazy, and once again, we launched them twice because of how good Lethal Clap is when Jax is heated up. And don't even get me started on how much damage this thing does if you have Fatal Blow. It's ridiculous. Over 56%, and we're fully heated up, so we can go for a throw crushing blow, or we can go for a combo, and because we're heated up, we'll just relaunch the opponent all over again. So yeah, this armor break is absolutely ridiculous. It relaunches from mid-screen, and the damage is great, and then in the corner, the damage just becomes insane. Once again, the only downside to this move whatsoever is that it's only available in 1 variation. And next up, we have Collector. So this armor break is the perfect example of beauty in simplicity, because it's fast on startup, and it relaunches when you amplify, no matter what, and that's what makes it scary, because theoretically you don't have to even worry if the opponent's going to break away or not. You can just do your combo like normal. So right here, you can just go straight into Relic Lure. If they break away, you'll relaunch them, and if they don't break away, you still launch them. So no matter what the opponent does, your combo remains pretty much the same as long as you have 1 bar available. And then if your opponent dares to break mid-combo, you're getting some really crazy damage, so just check this out. Yeah, really simple, 45%, all that damage, and it wasn't even tough to do. I can do it while narrating, it's just so easy. It's an easy combo to do. And now if the opponent doesn't break away, it's the same story. And right there we're getting about 36%, so the damage difference is there, which means it's actually in the opponent's interest to not break away, and that just makes this armor break that much better, because the opponent never wants to use their breakaway anyhow. And one of the main reasons this armor break works so well is because its startup was increased, and so was its hitbox as well. This thing sucks you in from really far away. You pretty much never need to dash to catch the opponent if you're Collector, and all of this is made even more scary because Collector can just launch you after any hit confirm with the help of this disc toss right here. I forget the name, but he can always relaunch you as long as he lands this thing, and you have to think now, should I break away? And as we already mentioned, no, you really shouldn't, because you're only going to take more damage anyway. So the Relic Lure just has great range, fast startup, and it relaunches for 1 bar, so it's just a really good armor break because of how beautifully simple it is. In my opinion, it is easily one of the best armor breaks in the entire game. And real quick, before the #1 armor break, some honorable mentions. Noob Saibot has a very interesting armor break, but the issue is it can't do anything unless the opponent goes for breakaway. It'll just be his regular back 2, which doesn't do very decent damage and won't extend combos either. And what this means is the opponent can wait to see if you go for back 2, and the second you don't, they can just break away anyhow. Once again, it's a very interesting armor break if the opponent does go for breakaway, but if they don't, it doesn't really have that much use. And Shang Tsung also has a really interesting armor break, but the problem is it's only available in variation 2, which doesn't have many ways to launch the opponent. You pretty much need a crushing blow or have to be in the corner. Otherwise, you're never going to launch the opponent anyway, which means you can't use this move as an armor break that often. Don't get me wrong, it's still a very useful move, and when it does break armor, it's really awesome. But sadly, Shang Tsung is just limited by that variation itself, because once again, there's just not many ways to launch the opponent. And then in the #1 spot, we have Shao Kahn, who actually has 3 different armor breaking moves, but the one we're going to be talking about is Skewered, because this move is just great no matter what. Much like Collector, it doesn't matter if your opponent wants to break away or not, you can just go for it every single time, and your damage is still decent. So for example right here, you land a hit, dash forward, oh, they broke away, doesn't matter, still getting 27%. And if they didn't break away, 27% is still very nice. But if they do break away and you want to spend a second bar, then you certainly can, and your damage is going to be pretty good. There you go, 35%, not too bad. And when you factor in how easy it is for Shao Kahn to launch you, it just makes this armor break that much scarier, because once again, he can just go for it every single time. If you don't break away, he won't spin the bar, but if you do, he might as well and just get more damage. In fact, this can even work after his forward throw crushing blow, which is great for punishing anything minus 10 or more. Nope, don't break away. And look at that, we're getting 40% just because you dared to break away. Well, how about his uppercut crushing blow? What's that like? Nope, don't break away. And once again, good damage, almost 37%. And then if your opponent dares to break away when you have fatal blow, then things are really going to hurt. Just like Jax, you're getting an easy 50% in a lot of situations. However, unlike Jax's, this thing combos no matter what. So if the opponent breaks away, great, just go straight into fatal blow. If they don't break away, fine, same combo. And keep in mind, after all of that, Shao Kahn still has 2 more armor breaks. So when it comes to being the best armor break character, Shao Kahn definitely does take the cake, and in my opinion, this armor break is also the best one in the game. It's very similar to Collector's, but I find it's a bit more versatile and also a bit more reliable because you can keep doing the same timing no matter what. Whereas with Collector, you do have to adjust things a little bit if the opponent doesn't break away. But as mentioned at the start of the video, please post in the comments which armor breaks you think are the best in the game. What does your list look like? And then while you're down there, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.